It's just after midnight, and you know what that means. You're listening to The Witching Hour on Channel X. October 3rd, the day that began the greatest mystery of Edgar Allan Poe's life. In fact, the only one that's still unsolved, his death. But first, I'd like to take notice of a few birthdays in the horror community. Born on October 3rd, we'd like to send a happy birthday out to Shannon Sossaman, who you may know from the movies One Missed Call or Sinister 2, or the TV shows Wayward Pines and Sleepy Hollow. Also born on October 3rd, here's a nice happy birthday to Neve Campbell, most well known for her portrayal of Sidney Prescott, the main character of the Scream franchise. And now, on to the subject of tonight's show. The day of Edgar Allan Poe's mysterious disappearance, which eventually led to his mysterious death. I now present you with the facts in the strange case of Edgar Allan Poe. Tonight we're here on site at Edgar's grave in Baltimore. It's slightly past midnight. Being that I, the Creeper of Channel X, am a certified doctor of fine paranormal sciences, I will now attempt to use post-mortis mesmerism to contact Mr. Poe and attempt to get him to tell us what happened to him. I will now place my hand on the monument. Edgar, can you hear me? Edgar, this is the Creeper. Are you there? We wish to speak to you.
Hello, you have reached Edgar Allan Poe. I am not in the grave right now, possibly out being a vampire. Oh, I love that joke. So please leave a message at the beep, and I will get back to you. Beep.
Yes, Edgar? This is the Creeper from Channel X. We're attempting to contact you and...
I fooled you. Graves don't have answering machines. I'm in the grave right now, and you've reached me, live. You may begin speaking with me now.
Okay, Edgar?
Yes, that's what I said.
It's me, Creeper.
I know who you are, silly. You already told me. Now, why are you bothering me?
I'm sorry to bother you, Mr. Poe. And I'm kind of nervous because this is my first time talking to you and...
Well, come on, spit it out, young man. What do you want?
I was kind of hoping you could tell us what happened to you on October 3rd, 1849, which led to your death. You see, it's nearly 200 years later, and we still have no idea what happened to you.
Oh, not this again. I thought I told Lovecraft this story. Didn't he tell you?
No, he didn't tell anybody.
Fine. But I have to start a bit earlier. On June 29th, I went out on a lecture tour to raise some mad cash for my new zine, The Stylus. You like that name? It's a totally sweet name. Everybody said so. I went to Philly, Richmond, and Norfolk. While I was in Richmond, I slid into my childhood honey Elmira's DMs. We met up, hit up the disco, and before you knew it, she agreed to be my waifu. On September 27th, I left on a boat to go back home to New York so I could get my stuff out of my crib and move it to Richmond to be with my boo. On September 28th, the boat stopped over in Baltimore. So, I got off the boat to go check out the local hardcore scene. Some really totally trash bands, and it was all but a waste. Man, there was this one band that was like a total rip-off of that
Edgar,
one other band I saw that
Edgar,
one time in New York.
I'm gonna have to let you go.
New York Dolls.
Okay?
It was really terrible.
Bye. I don't think we should really trust what Edgar was saying. This all sounds kind of suspect. I'll just have to tell you what we know from here. It's true, Edgar did go on a tour to get money to start his new magazine, The Stylus. And he did stop and spend time in Richmond with his childhood sweetheart, Elmira Royster Shelton. While he was there, they rekindled their old flame and became engaged. Edgar left to go back home to New York with the purpose of gathering his belongings and moving to Richmond to be with Elmira. However, The boat that he took home stopped over in Baltimore on September 28th. From that point until October 3rd, nobody has any idea where he was, what he was doing, or what may have happened to him. We don't know why he got off the boat in Baltimore. On October 3rd, a man named Joseph W. Walker found Edgar in front of Ryan's Fourth Ward polls, a polling center for a special election that was happening that day in Baltimore. Edgar was completely out of it, looking delirious and lost. Poe asked Walker to contact Dr. J.E. Snodgrass for him. Walker followed through. Dr. Snodgrass and Poe's uncle, Henry Herring, showed up to see Poe and decided to have him sent to Washington College Hospital. Poe reportedly lapsed in and out of consciousness over the next 3 days, according to his attending physician, Dr. John J. Moran. Moran says he tried to ask Edgar what happened to him, but he only received incoherent answers. In the early morning hours of October 7th, sometime between 3 and 5 a.m., Poe died. According to the doctor, his final words were, "Lord, help my poor soul." Dr. Moran also says that on the evening prior to his death, Poe kept repeating the name Reynolds with no other words. To this day, nobody knows what happened to poor Edgar. There are many theories, most debunked. People have blamed alcohol, disease, health issues, etc. The theory that seems most probable to me, given the enormous confluence of circumstances, was cooping. Cooping is when people are kidnapped, cooped up, forced to use drugs, and forced to vote multiple times for a candidate at multiple different polling locations. Frequently, they will force the victim to change into different clothing in order to vote multiple times at the same location. And guess what? Poe was wearing someone else's clothing when he was found on October 3rd, in front of the polling station. He was wearing strange, out-of-character clothing that was too big for him and did not match his style at all. I would like to know who Reynolds is. Much research has gone into this, but nobody has come up with a believable answer. There was a judge named Reynolds involved in the special election that day, although I'm not sure if any research has gone into that. Anyway, that's all for tonight. On October 7th, we're going to have a Poe expert from Baltimore on to talk about it in depth. Until next time, try to ignore the beating that you hear beneath the floorboards.